Hi, I'm Mike Smith. I'm with JM2 Investment Properties, and I wanted to make this short video in response to a lot of questions that we're getting from people about lease purchase options. In this environment, we are selling just about all our properties as a lease purchase option because people, quite frankly, can't qualify for a loan. Maybe they have a ding on their credit report and banks are rejecting them. Maybe they don't have the down payment. I mean, in this day and age, you better have 20% to get into a house. So a lease purchase option is an excellent way to lock in today's prices, which we haven't seen these prices since the 1990s in the Modesto area. So you get to lock them in now while you work on your credit and get your down payment up. So I want to take a little time to answer it in depth so people can understand it and they can look at it over and over. So let's go to the first slide. Lease purchase option. That phrase actually is two transactions in one. The first being a lease, or similar to a rent or a rental. The lease establishes a period of time, anywhere from 2 to 5 years is how we do it. It establishes the payment, the monthly payment. Now the payment on a lease will be a little bit higher, and it's for two reasons. Number one, we do credit back that first year anywhere from $100 to $200 a month, but we will also we're also getting the person who is doing the lease into the area of what their payment would be for a mortgage, taxes, and insurance on the property when they purchase it. So it's to get them already set for that. Now the second part of the lease purchase option is the purchase option. Now an option is the right but not the obligation to purchase something. So on this house you will do an option deposit or a premium, and it locks in the price of the house, and you have the right to buy that house at that price. But at the end of the term, if you decide for whatever reason you don't want to exercise that option, you are not obligated. You can just walk away from the transaction. So there is, like I said, there's an option deposit. It's non-refundable. It's 3 to 5%. So we want to make sure that the person who is going into a lease purchase option understands that, number one. And number two, they are really committed to working towards home ownership. And that's why we do that. We don't want just a regular renter. We want someone who is going to act as the owner of this property. And the premium on that is to really lock them in so that they have a vested interest in this house. Now, why they're a leasee or a renter of this property, they don't get the tax benefits. And frequently with our clients, we will work with as establishing an extra payment program, usually on the 15th of every month, to where the person is increasing their option deposit, which we do credit as a down payment towards the purchase of the house. And when that option deposit gets to 8 or 10%, we will then trigger owner financing for the property. And once that's done, title is transferred to the person, and they will get all the benefits, all the tax benefits of owning the property. Now, let's go through an example of one we actually just did. The woman is moving into Orangeburg as we speak with her 3 children. And it was, the property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,500 square feet, and it's a single-family residence. Now we locked in the purchase price at $151,500. That's today's price. We got a appraisal on this property for $160,000, so they got a great deal on it. Now the lease payment is $1,250. A little bit higher for the rental market in the area, but again, we're crediting them back $100 per month for the first year. And we're also getting them in the mindset of what the payment's going to be for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Now the lease on this particular house is 3 years. So she has 3 years to get her deposit up to 8 to 10%. and then get her credit all squared away and qualify for a loan. And again, part of our service is we'll work with a mortgage broker or a lender to help them get qualified, and if they need credit repair, we will help them on that too. Now, the option deposit on this particular property was 3%, so it was $4,530. So at the end of the first year, they will actually have $5,730 is towards the deposit on this house, and then working with them on the off months or off weeks of the payment on the 15th of the month will help them to increase their deposit so that it gets closer to 8 to 10%. So a lot of questions we get as we describe this: what happens at the end of the term? Two things can happen. One is the person has repaired their credit, they've got the deposit, they've qualified for a new loan, and they purchase a house, and then they're the owners of the house. The second is, well, maybe they haven't got the deposit down, or they still have some credit problems or challenges, but they still want to purchase a house. They want to go through with it. We'll do two things. One is we can renegotiate the term of the lease, extending the lease, giving them more time. Our second, if they have got the deposit around 8 to 10%, we will still go ahead and do a owner financing, because the person has obviously taken care of the house, they are committed to the house, and we want to reward that. So maybe they haven't got their credit all the way up to bank standards, or maybe we're still in a credit crisis, who knows. But we will still work with that person at the end of the lease. So that's in a nutshell, that's a lease purchase option. Like I said, most if not all of our properties we're offering with that, helping people get into homes that they wouldn't normally been able to afford, but they can afford a rent payment because they're probably making that same amount of payment somewhere else. So if you have any questions about that, please give us, you can go to our website and email a question there at www.jm2sellshouses.com, or email us at info@jm2buyshouses.com. Look forward to your questions and answering them and helping you in any way we can. Thank you and good night.